Alright, so we're here to talk about teacher burnout because I am feeling it hardcore right now. It's our last week of digital learning, distance learning, not digital learning, whatever. It's our last week and school's ending and I'm just feeling so, and I'm also feeling overwhelmed by what next year is going to bring. I mean, if we look at what's going on right now, we will have students who have been home since, for me, it's been March. But, if they come from a home that's not the best environment for them, we have to help them and build those relationships again. And I don't know, just give our support to those students who love coming to school because it's not home. And we also have the Black Lives Matter movement going on, which how we handle that next year is huge. So we've got these two huge issues that we have to tackle, and we're not sure what school is going to look like. There are changes that need to get made to how we deliver lesson and how we build community in our classrooms and social emotional learning, and there's so much to do and plan for, but I'm missing the piece that gets me excited to do it, and that's the kids. When we closed school, I was so sad because I love going to work. I love Monday to Friday. The weekends, I was always kind of wishing them to go faster. I love my kids. I love my husband. I love being home. But there's just something so exciting about being with my students that I just don't get at home. And it's such an important part of my life and my identity, and it's gone. And so I'm trying to feel inspired and creative and productive, but I am just not. But if I could just have my students around me and just hang out with them for even an hour, that would be really helpful. Because there's just something crazy about their teen hormones that just really does give you a lot of energy. Teaching keeps you young. I'm sure you've heard it, but it's true. But yeah, I'm very burned out. And when I get burned out, I do things that are very low priority. So yesterday, because I'm getting a new classroom, it's getting remodeled and repainted, I made this. It says, "Don't stop until you're proud." Oh, this way. I did not design this. I saw it on Pinterest and I copied it. I'll put the link below. Thank you for whoever designed it. It's beautiful and I love it. But yeah, this is what I made yesterday because I had some free time and I was like, it'd be a really good use of it, making a sign. So yeah, and I've been trying to think about why I'm so burned out, and aside from missing the kids, it really comes down to we have so much as teachers that we need to do to help our students, and next year is going to be crucial for a lot of them, especially if you have a population of students where there are lots of non-white students there. One of my biggest things is that I don't want how I handle next year to seem performative when these are things that I've been thinking about for years. Particularly how to include non-white, non-straight stories seamlessly into my classroom. I'm thinking particularly back to a moment with a history teacher at my school. She and I both teach freshmen, so we try to keep on the same page with stuff, but she just started a Gay Straight Alliance this year at school, and it's awesome. Because I know it gives a lot of students a safe place to go. So that happened. And our school had a summit for other GSA clubs to come and just talk about what they want to do, is a region, and things that they can do to offer more support to students and things like that. And I don't remember exactly what happened, but the history teacher, she had asked the English department to come to meetings before so that students see like that there are other teachers aside from her that are invested in these issues. And so she came to my room after one of the meetings, or after the summit, and what did she ask me about Project Lit? Or did I tell her that I was already... I don't know. Basically what happened is she asked if I had books in my classroom that told non-straight stories. And I had a good number, I mean, of my like non-textbook books. I would say about half are told from a non-white, non-straight perspective. And, oh man, when was that? How did this all go down? I don't even remember. But I remember her saying that she said that the students thought that it was really awesome that a teacher was already doing those things and wasn't just doing them in like response to it. And that I'd already kind of been doing my research about clubs and organizations that offer various perspectives. If you don't know what Project Lit is, I'll put a link in the bottom. You just sign up and basically you get, every year they release a list of books with just diverse perspectives. And it's really important. It's how I found Just Mercy. It's how I found With the Fire on High and Scythe and Aristotle and Dante. I don't know, there's just a bunch of books on that list, and I purchased them for my classroom. And I was really proud to just have these books available for students who wanted them. But more importantly than stories that talk about race or LGBTQ, I think it's really important that we're telling normal stories where, and I've said this before, like I want a story where the character could be white and straight, but is not white and not straight, and it doesn't change the story. Because I don't think that every time we have a black main character, their main focus should not be about race. Anytime we have a lesbian main character, it shouldn't be about homophobia and teaching people like not to hate gay people. It should just be whatever. Like they're just living their lives. And like I don't know that there are enough stories that are just them going about their day. It's why I like Scythe. The main girl in there, Citra, she's non-white, but that's not the issue. The main issue is we have a rogue group of Scythes going around and doing these like horrific mass killings, and it's out of control. It's why I like With the Fire on High. She's Hispanic, she's a teen mom, but those two things aren't the main issue. To me, it felt like the main issue is she's like in high school and she doesn't know what she wants to do with the rest of her life, and it's about self-discovery of that, which is so relatable to high schoolers. I want stories like that, where it could be just anyone, but it's a Latina lead, or an Asian lead, or someone who's bisexual, but that's not the focus of the story. So if you've ever watched Poops Creek, you know the show I'm talking about. Like, that is such a great example of tackling these issues where you're not, though. It's just, it's there. And it's not, like David, he likes the wine and not the label. That's it. That's all the explanation he gives. He doesn't even need one. Like, those kinds of stories are so crucial to students, is that they feel normal. They shouldn't feel abnormal for being not white and not straight. And so when I am teaching stories in class, I just want them to be, I don't want them to know that the main character is or isn't white. I want them to be shocked when they find out that it's a non-white person. It's a Native American person. It's someone in a wheelchair. Like, those are things that need to happen. Like, you shouldn't always, and it's important to tell stories about racism and homophobia. I'm not saying that you shouldn't tell those stories, but we shouldn't only tell those stories. If that makes any sense. Like, there are other stories that are important to high schoolers too, such as maybe family issues, maybe like drug addiction issues, not knowing what you want to do, poverty, bullying, peer pressure. There's just so much stuff that we can expose our students to. And when we can tell a neutral story about racism or homophobia, like those, if you can give a non-white protagonist and tell the same story with the same moral, like, do that. Anyways, this is a video about burnout. This is just where my train of thought keeps going, is that just, I want to support students who have been in unhealthy home situations, and I also want to support students that are deeply impacted by the Black Lives Matter movement, but I don't want it to be performative. I want it to be intentional and genuine. And so I worry that when I'm doing these things at school next year, that it's going to seem inauthentic. And that scares me, and that's what burns me out. Because I want to do it well, and I want to do it perfectly, and have students just know that it's a safe spot. And I don't want to make the wrong move, so I guess I'm paralyzed by fear. And I'm burned out because I want to handle these issues well and appropriately and organically. I don't want it to seem performative or inauthentic or fake, or I'm just doing it because I have to, because everyone else is doing it. These are things I've been thinking about for a while. And when you have a limited budget, there's only so much you can do, like, at one time. So it's a gradual thing. But I've been trying to make the moves when I can. And I just hope it comes off to students that, like, I'm not being performative. I'm genuinely in your corner. You know, this is a spot for everyone. And I don't know, like, that level of stress, like, you don't get that in a lot of other jobs. And it's hard too when you can't tailor your lessons to what students are doing because you're not there. Because, I mean, if you're an experienced teacher, you know that you might have a week's worth of lessons planned, but then you realize, oh, they can't do this as well as I need them to. So you have to change other facets of your lesson in order to accommodate, like, that skill. And so I don't have that right now. It's just hard because the things that they do and say inspire you, and they make you change your lessons 2 minutes before the bell rings. And you have to handle things that you weren't prepared to tackle that day. Maybe some days are just really rough, like, for that whole grade level, or they've got tests in 3 different classes, and it was going to be a kind of heavy day in your class. You're like, maybe this can wait until tomorrow. We can do this other lighter thing today. There's just so much stuff that, like, when you're in tune with your students, you try to help them. And when you just aren't around them, you just feel like distance learning has taken away the thing I like most about teaching, and that's the kids. I wanted to be a high school teacher because they are kooky and wacky and weird. And I just miss hearing, like, the ridiculous stuff that they say and the just random things that they do. One time a kid put thumbtacks on my seat. It's a black chair, and he used brightly colored thumbtacks, and, like, he knew I was watching him do it, so it wasn't, like, a big deal. But, like, why? One kid would get me Capri Sun every day. Why? Girls would come in and be like, Mrs. Solar, I got the tea. I miss the tea. I do. Someone was hiding half empty or half full, I guess, cartons of milk in my room, and that really made me mad. But I would give anything to have that problem right now, because being home and away from them, it doesn't make the job easier. It makes it so much harder. I'm missing the one thing that makes it great. It's hard to plan lessons and fun things when they're not here. Ugh. I could talk about it all day, just how much I miss them. And the kooky, wacky, random stuff that happens. I just miss all of it. Like, I miss not knowing what was going to happen that day. Every day I was like, something random's going to happen today that I'm just not prepared for. I'm just not. Every day. And then now it's like, it's just so routine right now. I'm at home with my 2 kids, and they're awesome. But I can't take them anywhere. Like, I can't go to the store with them. I can't take them to the library. All the museums are closed. You know, I don't want to, like, spread the virus and give it to my friends' kids. Like, there's just all these things that, like, can't wait to hang out at home today again for the 90th day in a row. Great. I can't do anything with them. And so it's like, doing nothing burns me out. I need to be constantly busy and in motion, and it's just been 3 months of trying to make it work, trying to get to September. And if we don't go back in September, well, you can tune in for that video, because I'm sure I'll be crying. Not really, but I don't know. It's hard right now to be a teacher because everything that we do is so important for students. And how we choose to show up for them is important. And now I've got a whole summer where I'm just going to be second guessing myself about if I'm doing something right. And I won't know until September. So, I don't know. Last year I was really excited for school to start, and I had my daughter in May, so I left school like 3 weeks early. I didn't miss that much. But I was so excited to, like, go back. Because I had all these great ideas, and I have ideas now, but it's so much more important now. The stakes are higher. And so I want to just do a really nice job. I want my classroom to be, I'm changing everything. Like, how I set up my classroom is different. The appearance of my room is different. I feel like I have more freedom. I mean, I've always had a lot of freedom, but I feel like I have the space and the capacity and the ability now, like the smarts, to have my classroom be what I want it to be. Like, this is going to be the year that things really click and fall into place. And I'm excited for it. I'm just going to be really upset if I do it wrong. And I've had it wrong for months. So, I don't know. It's really hard right now. And the burnout is very real. And I want to, like, there's nothing I can do about it. And so it's almost noon right now, and I've accomplished nothing today. And I don't even know where to start. I have so much to do. And it's all important. So, I don't know. Maybe okay. Something I did that was productive is I'm teaching creative writing this year, which I've never taught before. And I wouldn't say that it's my strong suit. Because, I mean, like, this poster that I made, I didn't design it. Someone else did it, and I just copied it. So I'm not very creative like that. I'm good at replicating or plagiarizing, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But, like, I'm good at redoing someone else's idea to fit my needs. But I'm not creative about that stuff. So I'll probably make a video of, like, my ideas about my creative writing class. But something I did is I made little booklets. I saw someone's idea, if I can find it, I'll link it below, where the kids write for 7 minutes every day, and then at the end of 2 weeks, they turn in their journals, and, but in class, like, a student will read one of the prompts that they wrote about, and then one student says what they like, another student asks a question, and then another student does something else. But it's a really great idea. And so I got all of my journals for the year done. Because it's an every other day class, so I had to do 17 journal packets that I made. And I just did the there's like 365 days of creative writing prompts. I picked a bunch of those and I put those on there. So I'm excited for that. But we have a lot of like Hispanic students, and we also have students that are far below their grade level, and something that I wanted to buy Membeam for this year, but I don't think that's going to happen with all the budget cuts. So I have to create a vocab program that is rigorous for kids that can handle it, but not too difficult for students that need more time with words. And so I'll do a video about that once it's all done. But maybe I'll work on that, because that way the ENL teachers and the special ed teachers can be prepared for the fall and have made their modifications to this stuff. So maybe I'll do that. That way they can start working on what they need to do. I think that sounds reasonable. I could probably do that. It takes a long time to do it though. It's okay. It'll be fun. I'm excited for my vocab stuff and my grammar stuff, but it's a lot. And again, I want to do it well, because vocab and grammar are two areas that I really need to improve on, and the students need more support with. But it's hard because you never have enough time for everything. And our classes are 45 minutes long. So if I do, like, I don't do bell ringers every day. Because it takes so much time. It just does. And their computers are always so problematic. And no one's ever ready with their computer. Not no one. Some students are never ready when you need them to be, and then they waste all this time. And by the time the bell ringer is done, like, they're just logging on, and so they've missed it. And then, like, what are you going to do? You're going to wait so they can experience the bell ringer? Like, what are you going to do? So, I don't know. There's a lot to consider for grammar and vocab instruction, but I think I've got it set up in a pretty logical way. We'll see. Maybe I'll do another video on that right now. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Okay. This was great, guys. Thank you for listening to my rant about being burned out. I feel a lot less burned out. So yeah, that was the transformation from being burned out to not being burned out. I have an action plan now and a goal. Grammar and vocab instruction so that my ENL and my special ed teachers can adequately support our students in something that's really crucial. So, I feel so much better. This was great.